Hello everyone. So in this particular video, we'll be taking some examples to illustrate the concept in depth. So now we start with the first problem. Remember that the solution will always have two components. The first component is generally the domain and the second component is inequality. So these are generally the two components of solving the irrational inequation. Now the domain condition will be the quantity inside the root. The quantity inside the square root is now 2x minus 5. So this should be greater than equal to 0. ये जो quantity है, this should be greater than equal to 0. And then this gives you x is greater than equal to 5 by 2. So the domain condition of this problem is x belongs to 5 by 2 to infinity. This is the first component. Now the second component of the problem will be solving the inequality part. And generally inequality में आप देखोगे कि left side is positive, मतलब in fact non-negative precisely. The left side is non-negative, right side is positive. So therefore we can square both the sides. And if we square both the sides, we get 2x minus 5 is greater than 3, which gives you x is greater than 4. So the solution of the second component, which is the inequality, gives you x belongs to 4 to infinity. And now your final answer would be the common values of x satisfying both the conditions. So now that is quite trivial. You can solve it easily to obtain that x belongs to 4 to infinity. Refer the previous video on system of inequations if you are not very comfortable with taking the common solutions. Now we take the next problem. Now this question is slightly more intriguing as well as interesting as compared to the previous question. So again we'll take the two components. The first component is, let's say, domain. Now domain means the quantity inside the root should be greater than equal to 0. The quantity inside the root is x plus 6, so we get x plus 6 should be greater than equal to 0. Otherwise the inequation will not make any sense. So this gives you x belongs to minus 6 to infinity because x is greater than equal to minus 6. So this is the area that we obtain from the domain condition. Now as far as the right hand side is concerned, now if we solve the second component, which is solving the actually inequality part. So if you observe this inequation carefully, what you find is that the left hand side is clearly non-negative because it involves a square root and the output of the square root cannot be negative. So the left hand side is clearly a non-negative number. But the right side contains x minus 6. Now in the previous problem the right side was 3, and which was a positive number. So therefore we could go for squaring on both the sides. The rule of squaring says कि हम दोनों तरफ square तभी कर सकते हैं जब either both sides are positive or both sides are negative. But if I look at this right hand side, this has a sign scheme 6. So this has a sign scheme. It is positive for x greater than 6 and negative for x less than 6. So it is not always positive, it is not always negative. So now what do we do now? Because this right hand side will create a problem. It is neither always positive, nor it is always negative, and therefore now we are trapped. So in such cases, when you do not know the sign of one of the sides of any inequation and you want to go for squaring both the sides, the best way is make some cases. So now we go for two cases. Case 1. In case 1 we assume that में हम assume करते हैं कि x is on left side of 6, यानी we assume that x belongs to minus infinity to 6. So if x is less than 6, the inequation now becomes root x plus 6 is less than x minus 6. And keep in mind that we assumed that x is smaller than 6. So which means now this left hand side is non-negative and right hand side is a negative number, right? क्योंकि मुझे right side का sign नहीं पता चल रहा था, it could be positive, it could have been negative for different values of x. Therefore I made two cases, right side positive, right side negative. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे जब भी ये situation हो और आप अटक जाओ तो you should always make these two cases कि right hand side is positive, yeah, let's say non-negative, and right hand side is negative. Always make these two cases whenever you do not know the sign of one of the sides of rational inequation. तो यहाँ पे we made the first case, that was x is less than 6, और उस केस में x minus 6 will be a negative value, as we can see from this particular sign scheme. And this results in a very trivial inequation that a non-negative number is smaller than a negative number, which is not possible. This is clearly not possible. So you do not have any solution for case 1. We then move to the second case. Which is case 2. So what we do in case 2 is, we assume that the right hand side is now greater than or equal to 0. We assume that if right side is greater than or equal to 0, that is x belongs to 6 to infinity. Now if x belongs to 6 to infinity, then the left hand side and the right hand side will be both non-negative. They will be both non-negative, and because of this, therefore we can square both the sides. So if I square both the sides now, I get x plus 6 is smaller than x minus 6 whole squared, which gives you x square minus 13x plus 30 is greater than 0. I'm solving it a bit fast. I've just taken everything on the right side. This implies x minus 3 into x minus 10 should be greater than 0. And using the method of interval, this gives you 3, this was 10. यहाँ पे solid circle, sign scheme will be positive, negative, positive. So therefore we get x belongs to minus infinity to 3 union 10 to infinity. This is the solution for the second case. But now there are some traps. ठीक है, तो थोड़ा सा हमको कुछ जगह cautiously चलना पड़ेगा आगे. And these traps are, we obtained this solution because we assumed this. This was the assumption to obtain this case. So my solution should be the common values of, I should go for the common values of this set and this set. So the common values of these two sets are, therefore x belongs to 10 to infinity. This is the common solution of the case 2 with the inequation. Now again, do not rush to the answer that x belongs to 10 to infinity. This is not the final answer yet. For final answer, you have to take the solution common with the domain condition. So now you have to take the things common with the domain, and we know that domain was minus 6 to infinity. So therefore the common value becomes x belongs to 10 to infinity. So now you can claim that this is the correct answer. This is the answer for this question. Again, a same type of problem. So we start first with the domain condition. Let's start with the domain condition, the first component. Domain condition is minus x square plus 6x minus 5. This quantity should be greater than or equal to 0 because ये root के अंदर है. इसका मतलब हुआ x square minus 6x plus 5 should be less than or equal to 0, which gives you x minus 1 into x minus 5 is less than or equal to 0. Using the sign scheme, I get x belongs to 1 to, this was 5, x belongs to 1 to 5. So this is the domain condition for this particular problem. And then we go for solving the inequation part. So we now solve the inequality part. For inequation, the problem is that right side is 8 minus 2x. Right side is 8 minus 2x, and this quantity is again neither positive nor negative. So we make two cases. case 1, the right side, if right side is greater than equal to 0, now that means if x is less than equal to 4, that is in the set notation this can be written as x belongs to माइनस इन्फिनिटी से 4. यदि x इस इंटरवल में तो क्या होगा? तो अब अगर हम इस इंटरवल में इन इक्वेशन को देखें तो मेरे पास अब आता है नॉन नेगेटिव नंबर ऑन द लेफ्ट हैंड साइड, रूट है लेफ्ट साइड पर इन इक्वेशन में, इज ग्रेटर देन another non-negative number. So this is mathematically possible. A non-negative number can be greater than another non-negative number. So now the only way out is you have to go for squaring both the sides. दोनों तरफ नॉन नेगेटिव है तो आराम से स्क्वायर कर सकते हैं. वी गेट माइनस एक्स स्क्वायर so we square both the sides and rearrange this in equation. We get 5x square minus 38x plus 69 should be less than 0. Now the discriminant of this is b square minus 20 into 69, which will be same as probably 64. ठीक है, तो discriminant is 64. I hope I do not make the mistake here. So discriminant is 64, and therefore the roots of this equation are the critical points that you have to the points that you have to mark on the number line will be, for the sign scheme, they will be 38 plus minus under root b square minus 4ac upon 2a, so that gives you 23 by 5 and 3. So these values are clearly 3 and 23 by 5, and the sign scheme will be positive, negative, positive. So this case solution for this particular case becomes, therefore x belongs to 3 to 23 by 5. But again आपको थोड़ा सा cautious रहना है. ये जो solution आता है, ये solution आया था on this assumption. When we assumed this, then I obtained this solution. So my final answer will be the common value of these two. The common value of these two. So the common value from this particular set becomes x belongs to 3 to 4. This is the common value from case 1. And then we solve the case 2. We then solve the second case. Case 2, where we assume that 8 minus 2x is now negative, which means x belongs to 4 to infinity. x 4 से बड़ा हो गया. अब की बार क्या होगा कि आपके पास जो ओरिजिनल इनइक्वेशन थी उसमें लेफ्ट, दिस वाज द ओरिजिनल इनइक्वेशन दैट वी हैड, ठीक है, दिस वाज द ओरिजिनल इक्वेशन. तो नाउ द लेफ्ट हैंड साइड इज नॉन नेगेटिव and right hand side we have assumed as negative. So this inequation now results in left hand side is greater than right hand side. Now right hand side we have assumed to be negative and this is non-negative. तो अब non-negative negative से बड़ा कब होगा? It is always true. So therefore from this case I get x belongs to all real numbers. But then do not again jump to the conclusion कि ये आपका final answer हो गया ना. अभी मुझे थोड़ा सा cautiously देखना पड़ेगा कि I obtained this solution on this assumption. I assume this to obtain this solution. So my final answer would be again the common value of this and this. इन दोनों का common value आएगी. And the common value of these two gives you x belongs to 4 to infinity. So the solution from the inequality gives you that x belongs to 3 to 4 union 4 to infinity, which implies x belongs to 3 to infinity. This is the solution of inequation, the second component. ये inequation का है solution. और डोमेन का सोल्यूशन आया था हमारे पास x बिलोंग्स टू 1 to 5, तो डोमेन का सोल्यूशन आया था x belongs to 1 to 5. So the common values of x which will satisfy this equation will be the intersection of these two again. तो अब मुझे वापस से इन दोनों का कॉमन और लेना है, and my final answer will be x belongs to 3 to 5.